What's going on, boxing fans? Joan Williams with The Distance. I got another fancy matchup for you guys today. I have this one from Tommy Gunn 7111. This one is Evander Holyfield versus Smoking Joe Frazier. Really good matchup due to the contrast of styles involved. I'll start off with Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield, when I was a kid, was the world heavyweight champion for a while. And Evander Holyfield had a lot of heart. I've seen his trilogy with Riddick Bowe. I've seen his matchups with Dwight Muhammad Cowie. I've seen him fight Tyson. I've seen a lot of I've seen him fight Foreman. I've seen a lot of Evander Holyfield fights. I grew up on his fights. Just watching him fight, studied his fights. Studied him down. I noticed that Evander Holyfield had a lot of heart. He pretty much fought everybody. Like Muhammad Ali, he had two primes pretty much. He had the prime when he first started, and then after the Michael Moore fight, had another prime, and now he's no longer his prime. But it's kind of unfortunate that he still has to fight. And in a way, I feel like he's kind of covering up, with this. I have to be undisputed champion again. Before I retire, because more than likely it's not going to happen. He's not going to be undisputed champion again. He's about 46 now, but we all know that Evander Holyfield doesn't have any money. He has all those kids, doesn't have any money now, so he still has to fight. But back when he was younger, he was a great fighter. He was amazing in the ring, because he had a lot of heart. He could fight. He could fight on the outside. He could fight on the inside. He could mix it up, trade shots, because had a pretty good chin, but Evander Holyfield, was pretty much a champion, one of the best champions of the early '90s, and it's unfortunate that he still has to fight now, because really he should have been, he should have retired probably after the Lennox Lewis loss, but he continued to fight, and it is what it is. And against Smoking Joe Frazier. Smoking Joe was a champion in was a champion in like 1968, I believe. Whenever Ali got his championship stripped of him, that's when Frazier was a champion. And I think that the skill of Joe Frazier is very underrated. A lot of people refer to Joe Frazier as a bum. And I've heard a lot of people say Joe Frazier was a bum, but Frazier by no means was a bum. Frazier, his skill was great. He wasn't necessarily a big he was kind of, in a way, he was one-dimensional fighter, but he wasn't he wasn't really one-dimensional as in just walked in and threw. He slipped shots and he threw. So he wasn't necessarily one-dimensional. He had skill. He knew how to cut off the ring. He knew how to, he would go to the body. He was effective when he went to the body. He didn't necessarily come out and just swing. He made his shots count. If you look at the first Ali fight, he wasn't really, coming out and just throwing all kinds of shots. He was kind of waiting it out, and then he would just throw one big shot. And one big shot that was effective. Ali was throwing like 4 or 5 shots, and then Frazier would come off with one big shot. He would load up and hit Ali with a big right hand or a big left hand, a big looping right or a big looping left. Sometimes he just go to the body or whatever, because when you go to the body, it takes the movement away. But in a fight like this, Smoking Joe versus Evander Holyfield, Evander Holyfield has the big physical advantages in this fight. He's 6'2", has a 78-inch reach. Compared to Joe Frazier, who's 5'11", which I debate to this day. I personally thought he was about 5'9", 5'10", just what he looked like. And but really, I'll say 5'11" with a 73-inch reach. But see, Evander Holyfield tend to have his habit of mixing it up on the inside, staying on the inside. So I don't think Smoking Joe would have any trouble cutting off the ring from Evander Holyfield. But Evander Holyfield did trade and mix it up on the inside as well. He could land his shots on the inside just as well as Smoking Joe would. It's like I see in a matchup like this, while Smoking Joe's going to the body, I see Holyfield, staying up top, landing, short hooks, because Evander Holyfield was very good at landing his short right and left hooks, and he was very good at he actually had some pretty good timing on the inside. But really, sometimes he would begin his fight using his jab, but if Smoking Joe pressures him, it kind of takes that elongated jab away, and it's elongated compared to Smoking Joe because Smoking Joe's a shorter fighter. But really, in a fight like this, I really don't see this being your big. I don't see this. I don't see Smoking Joe even driving Holyfield to the ropes. I see this kind of being your big center of the ring. Touch gloves. Trade shot, stand and trade fight. Similar to Holyfield Foreman. I just see this fight as pretty much kind of like the same thing. I just see Evander Holyfield who I think has the better hand speed, will probably get the best of Smoking Joe. I think that really on the inside, I think for a while Smoking Joe will win the inside battle, but eventually Evander Holyfield gets up off the canvas and takes the matchup by a close split decision. I think that Evander Holyfield will take it to him after coming down the canvas. I think that Smoking Joe had the power to probably hurt and knock down Evander Holyfield, but Evander Holyfield having the heart to get up and take the matchup from Smoking Joe, because we've seen a few times in Holyfield's career when either he got hurt or he just got up and just took the match away. So I think that in this matchup, I see Evander Holyfield winning by very close split decision. But anyway, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.